What's going on, guys? The Anthem demo is finally here, and in this video I'm going to be giving you guys some Anthem demo movement tips. Basically just some tips to sort of, help you guys out when it comes down to general movement in Anthem. And this video is going to be, of course, for those of you guys that are complete beginners to the game, or of course those of you guys that have, some general understanding of the game. First thing that you want to do is go into your settings and of course go into your controls. If you are a PC player, definitely make sure that you are using the keyboard and mouse settings, because I'm a PC player and I was controlling my flight sensitivity through the controller section, and I realized that my sensitivity wasn't changing at all. So yeah, if you're a console player on PC and you're using a controller on PC, go to where it says controller. If of course you are a keyboard and mouse player, definitely make sure that you switch your flight sensitivity on the keyboard and mouse section. And I would also recommend that you guys go over here to where it says flight mouse response and put that to the sensitivity that you're comfortable with. I went with 25-25 because I found that's what best worked for me. Now that we got that out of the way, let's talk about some basics when it comes down to the movement of Anthem. And let's just talk about regular flight mode, how you enter flight mode. So if I'm going to cover short distances, I like to go for a jump and then enter flight mode. And you enter flight mode with the same button that you sprint, by the way, just in case you guys didn't know. However, if I want to cover large distances, I want to go for a double jump and then enter flight mode. Right, I will most likely use this if of course I am going to take an elevated position. If I want to go from here all the way up to there, however, what I'm going to do is I'm going to double jump twice, then I'm going to do my evade maneuver, and then I'm going to activate flight when I'm close to the area that I want to be at, right? And the reason why I'm doing that is because, keep in mind, Anthem is a game that sort of has kind of like a vertical field of play. So the reason why you want to be saving as much fuel as possible is because, for example, let's say that I came from here all the way over here, right? And then I need to hover. As you guys can see, I'm not going to have enough time to hover, right? So that's why I like to go with that technique. Again, when you're covering high grounds and you're jumping from a vertical position, double jump, evade maneuver, and as you're getting close to your position, make sure that you activate your flight, and then of course activate hover mode if you need to. And as you guys can see, I'm going to have way more hover mode than I would have if of course I would have just flown all the way from here to of course over there. When it comes down to getting out of flight mode, is pretty simple. I like to either activate flights, and basically that's just gonna get me out of flight mode, nothing too special, or I also like to of course just press the jump key, which will also get the job done, and both methods are basically pretty effective. Another thing that you guys can do, you guys can jump out of flight mode, and as you're jumping down, you guys can also dodge to of course go a little bit further forward. If of course, and this is basically effective if, for example, let's say that there's an enemy all the way over there, and I'm gonna jump and then I'm going to dodge all the way up to the right to basically take some cover. And this is specifically helpful with turrets. If there's a turret over there and I am basically just free falling, chances are that the turret might hit me, so that's why of course I want to be doing the evasive maneuver as I am about to land. Now, another thing that you guys can do is, as you guys are in flight mode and you guys want to land, you guys can just press the melee key and bam, you're gonna go straight down with your melee. And I usually like to do this if there is an enemy that I want to damage. So for example, let's say that I want to damage this guy, I can just fly down on him and then of course hit him with my melee. Hunting rabbits. Alright, now we're going to talk about some of the basics when it comes down to flights. So, you guys can fly up in the air, and if you press forward, you're going to go a little bit faster, as you guys can see. And I usually like to do this when I want to traverse, of course, really long distances, because it's just going to put me in a position where I'm going to be able to get to the desired destination as fast as possible. Now, as you're playing Anthem, chances are that sometimes you're not going to be able to control your flight. So if you're about to hit something, just hold the back button. And, ooh, let me harvest this real quick. Alright, as you're also playing in Anthem, you're going to have situations where you might crash against something. However, if you hold your back button, as you guys can see, your flight speed is going to be reduced drastically. And that's also going to basically help you out when it comes down to more control over your javelin. Another thing that I want to point out also, if you are about to hit a rock or if you've been locked on by an enemy, specifically a sniper, you can also use your evade key to basically just evade you know, from one area to the next, right? So it's something that's really helpful. You know, definitely make sure that you guys are taking advantage of it. Also, it should go without saying, it should go without saying that if you guys fly close to water, as you guys can see, your cooling systems are basically going to be better, and it's going to take way longer for your actual javelin to overheat. And this is a tip that I of course want to be applying as I'm traversing to the world, because of course the more time that I spend in flight mode, the faster I can get to my destination. Let's say that you guys are also in flight mode and you want to be changing directions, or you've just lost control over your javelin in general, and sometimes, you know, it's just really hard to control. You guys just want to activate your hover key and basically put your crosshairs where you want to go, and then of course that's just going to give you sort of like you know, more control over your javelin when it comes down to where you want to go. And as you guys can see, there's this strip of water here. I'm just gonna fly over it so that my javelin gets cooled off a bit. And now I'm going to activate hover because I want to be returning back, and look at that, just like that, I am going in the same direction. Now, another tip when it comes down to flight mode, at least with the Ranger, you can actually activate your ultimate as you're flying with the Ranger and basically, of course, lock on to your foes. And as you guys can see, I'm going to completely Iron Man these fools. So yeah, I hope that tip sort of helped you guys out when it comes down to the Rangers, and I am going to run before these rhinos completely destroy my soul. Oh, there is some ember here, and I'm just gonna drop down and get it. And as you guys can see, you know, right there, I sort of lost a little bit of control of my javelin. So usually what I like to do when, you know, I want to go towards a specific location or I want to have more control is I just put myself into hover and of course sort of get into a position where I can unhover and then of course get to you know, the destination that I want. But that's pretty much it, guys. When it comes down to my Anthem demo movement guide and tips, I wanted to make this video, of course, to sort of you know, help you guys out when it comes down to the movement of Anthem. I've been playing for a couple of hours and oh my god, man, the movement just feels really satisfying, specifically when you know how to maximize it. Anyways, if you guys want more Anthem guide and more Anthem videos, of course, feel free to subscribe to the channel and check out the Anthem playlist for more of my coverage when it comes down to Anthem.